It's the Franklin Show live from Franklin with America's favorite adopted pup, Franklin Delano Roosevelt Lloyd Wright Sinatra Seltzer, and his friend and favorite Franklin dog adopter, Michael Seltzer. I'm your announcer, Chasey Chase'em. Here's Franklin.
Oh, wow. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back. And to my great band, Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra. God, you guys are great. It's so great to see you. It's great to see all of you. Welcome back to the Franklin Show live from Franklin Village. And my announcer, the great Casey Kasem. He and I go back to when he was alive. And Casey and I forged a relationship, and I cherish that. And honestly, today, he sounds so much like my friend Kevin O'Neill, who you know from radio. He's on WJR on the Mitch Album program, and he's been on every radio station in Detroit. Sounds so much like Kevin O'Neill. I just want to do a shout out to you, Kevin. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Anyway, welcome back. We got a great show today. Oh, my latest book is out, and it's called Stirring the Shit in Style. This will be available in Borders and all other not-so-fine bookstores, but it's a great read. And speaking of books, the book came out, and this has to do with ratings, and you may not understand that, but it's very important in our business. The book came out. We are #1 in every demo. Now, if you're not in show business, that simply means we are very popular and worthy of high praise and a big fat bonus. You hear that, Rod? The book is actually not like a storybook or a novel. It's a term referring to the compilation of ratings from a guy named Nielsen. Leslie and his team put together this assemblage of calculations and demos, which are demographics like 18 to 34 and 65 plus and so on. But we're #1 in every category, and it's thanks to you, all of you, and of course thanks to my friend. Oh, by the way, Franklin is on vacation. That's why I've got this other little fella filling in for Frank, who's just exhausted from the travel and the touring. You guys have been so gracious to us since we started the show. Everybody wants to come out and meet us. Everybody wants to be on the show. Reach out to us for tickets. I think we're booking now into February. But anyway, we got a great show today, the Franklin Baseball League, and some nostalgic looking back at that league with some great coaches and players, and I'm really excited to get the show going. So we'll be right back. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Franklin Show, America's #1 talk show, right here live in Franklin Village. With me, and filling in for Franklin, who's on vacation, is this guy. Anyway, my first guest tonight, very happy to have you, Jeremy Phillips from the Franklin Baseball League. The Franklin Baseball League is a wonderful organization, and so many kids have been groomed through the years and being part of Franklin Baseball. So I'm really happy to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So I am obviously a big supporter of everything Franklin. And the Franklin Baseball League, founded in 1955?
Yeah, we've been around almost 70 years now.
Yeah. And one of the more famous players was a guy named K-Line?
Well, I know some of the K-Lines have played in the league over the years.
He lived in the village.
Right, yep.
And I believe he coached too, did he not?
Possibly. I think those are all great tidbits that we're looking for, information in the league.
Yeah, Mark K-Line, I'm sure, played.
Yeah.
And we have one of the fields on our property, on the grounds, is Al K-Line Field. So
yeah, that's kind of our crown jewel field that we play a lot of our big games on that field.
Right,
so.
right. So let's talk about where we are currently, because we're going to be doing a nostalgic look back. In my next segment, I've got 3 of the greatest coaches of Franklin baseball coming up, as well 3 of the greatest players in Franklin baseball, going back to the early 90s, but that's the nostalgic segment. Bring us up to date on what's happening currently and where the Franklin Baseball League is today.
Yeah, we just wrapped up our fall season, and we're really proud of being able to bring back the fall baseball and softball seasons. We haven't had that in quite a few years, so we were able to bring that back to the fields, and then we're now kind of transitioning to our winter period where we've got some great clinics that we're working to set up with some partners.
Yeah.
So bring the kids indoors and teach them the fundamentals of baseball and softball.
Where do you bring them indoors? Where?
Sure. We have some great partners in Origin Athletics and DBAT of Troy. So we work together to create kind of the great clinics that the kids can learn about the game and keep their skills fresh as we transition into the spring. So our spring registration's open, so we're trying to get that going and getting the kids
There will be
registered.
something on the screen, I think, about that, and maybe a QR code.
Yeah. Well,
And if not, the website is...
franklin-baseball.com. That you can visit that. We keep that up to date along with our Facebook page, where we always put all of our events and different things that we've got going on. So we're really excited about our 70th season at Franklin Baseball and Softball. We've got some great things planned for this season.
Like what?
Yeah, we've got. We're working to create kind of a great. Something that we did earlier this year was our Franklin Family Weekend, where we had games all weekend. We brought food trucks in, we brought vendors in, we brought the Royal Oak Leprechauns down with their mascot to kind of roam around with the kids. We have photographers there where we get all the kids and teams together to take their team photos and individual photos. So we're going to build on that momentum from this year to next year, and we're going to create a bigger experience. We're working with the Franklin Community Association and Main Street Franklin to build that event out, bring more vendors down, tie it into the community downtown area so that we can kind of get that flow from downtown into the fields and everything. So, and then just continue to build on kind of tie the history of Franklin baseball and softball over the years into that event. So we know that there's a rich history out there. I've been on the board for coming up on my 2nd year. I didn't get a chance to play. I'm not from around here, but I know the history. I've been having great conversations with coaches and families that have been there.
If you played, what would you be, like a goalie, or what would be the thing that would motivate you? See, I'm sorry. I confuse my sports.
Sure, no problem. I was a catcher, so I was kind of a catcher and a pitcher. So
Bill Freehand comes to mind.
Okay,
but that's my era. You probably don't even know who I'm talking about.
I know it is a Tiger. I was a Mike Noakes fan growing up. Mickey Tettleton. Yeah. I was a '90s Tiger, early 2000s. Yeah. So those are my guys, but.
Well, I was obviously there for '68. I was young. I was 13. And in '84, my son, Justin, was born on opening day. In fact, interestingly, we had tickets. We always went to opening day. And because we had a scheduled delivery, I was not able to go to opening day on 1984. And in fact, I had to tell a prospect, I was in the advertising business back then, and I actually had a really important meeting on that day with a new prospect. It was Michigan HMO Plans, big client. And I had to call the president of the company and tell him, above anyone else, none of my family, that I can't make the meeting this morning because I'm having a baby. So, it's hard to forget that. And that was the year, of course, the Tigers won the World Series, and so we were there for that. And so our little son became a big Tiger fan and played, Franklin baseball, obviously.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think those are the stories that we're looking for. As part of our 70th anniversary, we want to try to get photographs, stories that we can collect. As part of our family weekend, we're either going to have some type of tent or some type of community area that we can share those photos and stories. We know that they're out there. We'd love to get photographs of when the fields were dedicated, because we know the fields have, they're dedicated to different individuals that have been a part of the community, and we want those stories to live on. We want those
the
photos
Franklin Historical Society may have some of that stuff. We have a museum in Franklin, in case you don't know, and they may have some of that archival stuff. But you're looking for actual stories from members of the community who played in Franklin baseball and coached Franklin baseball, like the people that I'm going to have coming up on the show in the next segment.
Exactly, yeah.
How do they contribute?
Yeah, I think if you have a story or if you have a photograph or some type of memory you want to share with us, you can email us at leagueoffice@fbbsb.com. That's our email address.
My crack staff will have that up on the screen, I'm sure.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Or you can send us a message through Facebook. That's also another great way to reach out to us.
Go on to Facebook and look for Franklin Baseball League.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
That's so we're
and that
active.
event is going to be in the spring.
It's going to be May 17th and 18th.
May 17th and 18th.
Yep. The weekend after Mother's Day.
And the weekend after Mother's Day. Okay, so that's happening this spring in the village of Franklin.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And the venue for that is going to be, you're not sure yet, the barn maybe?
So everything will be done at the fields.
Yeah.
So near the gazebo area.
Yes.
We're just not sure if we'll use the red barn there by the Krieger House or if we'll kind of set some tents up. We're still working through the logistics of that.
Obviously, weather is a factor in Michigan. You can never completely count on anything, right? So it's good to have the backup of the Krieger House, the barn.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make sure we get that on the books. You guys who are listening in from the administrative side of Franklin Village.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what's great about working in the league here. The community is so supportive of the league. We really want to keep it going.
Right.
I think that's what's great, unique about it. It's such a community-based league as opposed to some of them where it's just kind of scattered and there isn't that community interaction that we have. So I think that's what really separates us up from some of the other.
How many players are there in the league?
Sure. I think we've had as many as 900. I think we're kind of, we've settled in kind of that 400 to 500 range right now. So, but we're trying to grow.
So we were affected adversely during COVID, yeah?
Yeah, there were some challenges.
Like everything.
There were some challenges that we had to go through, but I think we're in the right swing.
Coming back, swooping back up.
Exactly. I think we have a very engaged board. We have some great volunteers. We're an all volunteer-led organization.
As is everything in the village of Franklin. Yours truly and this guy.
Definitely. So,
but that's what makes Franklin so special and unique.
Exactly.
We are an all-volunteer community of 2 square miles of just the most wonderful people in the world. They really are.
Exactly. Whenever we
and they all
help.
voted really right in the last election. Thank you very much. But anyway, so we're about 400 members right now.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And the ages start where?
We start from kind of that pre-K age group. So when they're just
where you have to say, hold your hand up, or
something like that. Yeah, we got that T-ball range or pre-K kindergarten all the way up to 9th grade is kind of that's where we'll go up to for both baseball and softball. And I think that's something we do too. We do both baseball and softball. I think that we don't just focus on baseball. We have something for the ladies too.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know one of the coaches who will be here today also, I think he coached the ladies as well, and proudly so. His daughters were both on the team. Yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and driving through our community on a baseball day or early evening, I mean, to see all the parents and all of the kids and all of the people and the grandparents. I mean, it's just a wonderful, heartwarming thing. It's just one of those unique features of our community that we cherish and we want to continue. Any problem getting coaches? Are you looking for more volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers, coaches. Always looking for people to join the board. We always could look for help. It's a lot to run, so we always look for help for people that have. Just some time, just a couple hours a week is all we sometimes look for.
Are you seeing some of the younger people in the community stepping up to help?
Yeah, I definitely say that. Yeah, they're getting involved. They, especially since if their kids are playing, they want to kind of help out wherever they can, especially with coaching, and with being a volunteer coach, it's really just. Helping teach the game wherever you can, and we provide resources to help.
It's building a foundation. Yeah. And I think that is something that the coaches will speak to, that they're proud to be a part of not only their own kids' foundations, but other kids' foundations. Because it really does teach some discipline. And there's nothing like being on a winning team, but even when you're not a winner, the participation and experience is great. Yeah. I loved going to watch the games, and you're with your friends, you're with your neighbors, you're with your community. And so for people who want to participate, again, go to the website, go to the Facebook page.
Yes.
And how many members do you have on your board?
We have your 5 standard board members, but we have a lot of expanded board members that come to our meetings, and our division directors and kind of help out with fundraising and marketing. And
anything controversial? Any tar on bats or any of that?
Luckily, we don't worry about too many controversial items.
We're not used to controversy in Franklin. Anyway, I got to wrap it. I really appreciate, Jeremy, your being here. I also thank you for being a supporter of Main Street.
No
Main Street is another Franklin organization that you are a board member of, and we appreciate you very much.
It's important to be a part of it.
Thanks so much for coming. Everybody, go to the website, see what you can do to contribute, and stay tuned to the next segment where you're going to see some of the nostalgia of Franklin baseball. We'll be right back. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Wow, hey everybody, thank you so much. This is really a special segment. I am very, very excited to introduce to you some dear friends and maybe a family member that are all related to Franklin baseball and a big part of our past and our history together. There is Austin Wiseman, one of the finest pitchers in Franklin baseball.
Strike 3, you're out.
Michael Cerno, one of the best coaches in Franklin baseball. He's not raising his hand, so I...
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah, there he is. And Aaron Kazander, famous executive producer of the Goldbergs and a big member of Franklin baseball. That fella right there that looks kind of like me, that's Justin Seltzer, executive vice president of Blue Note Records in Los Angeles, California, and my boy. There's another wonderful coach, my friend and his, Bruce Kazander, podiatrist to the stars. And bringing up the rear, my good friend Zach Wiseman, and God bless you all for being here today. This is a really special opportunity for us. We just did a segment on the current status of Franklin baseball. It's alive and well and thriving, and we're very proud of what it's done in our great community. And so I thought it would be apropos to look back nostalgically to what was a very, very special part of my life, watching my son and all of these fine young men who are now adults with families playing Franklin baseball. So I'd like to start out with the coaches and get some perspective from you. Michael, can you give me your thoughts on the value of Franklin baseball, what it's done to our community and our kids?
Well, I think, most coaches generally get into coaching because you'll start out in T-ball and you notice, oh, my little Johnny, he's just a little bit better than most of the kids. So dad starts reliving his shattered sports fantasy through his kid. And then after a while, little Johnny, he's just in with the rest of them. But you get an opportunity to facilitate a great experience for the kids. It's not your team, it's their team. And you're there to provide them with the best possible experience, camaraderie. Nobody likes to lose, but you got to learn to accept loss because you're not going to win every game. And they need to learn that as part of their whole maturity process. I started coaching in the 90s, as did Bruce, and Bruce and I coached together, boys and girls, throughout everything, the whole history of it. But as a parent, I have great friends most of my friends I met through Franklin baseball, Seltzers, Kazanders, Wiseman. I mean, all these people are still friends today, and that's where we met, through our kids. And look at the kids. All you guys live in LA, you all play Franklin baseball, and you're still friends with your first grade friend. So what does that tell you? I mean, it's a great experience for not only the parents, but the kids. But you have to remember as a coach that your desire to win should never exceed the desire of the children to win. You can't be a maniac kicking the fence and going nuts when the kids, they want to have a good time. They have a great time. They win great. They don't win, it ain't the end of the world. So
no, you have to prepare them for the realities of life. Like you say, not everybody can be a winner, right? And I remember one of the coaches being ordered to the parking lot by one of the young umpires. Remember, he's not with us on this show, but God bless you, Howard Rosen.
Without mentioning names, that's right.
Well, Bruce, you remember some coaches going nuts. You even had to send a letter to one of them when we coached softball.
Well,
we don't need to mention names, but
no, we won't mention it. But like I said, this league has created lifelong memories for myself and for my kids. And as Mike said, the friends I have right now are the friends I met from Franklin baseball and softball. Now, I was a league director at every level on the boys and girls side, so I saw it from both sides. And there's all kind of stories that emanate from 30 years ago that we still talk about now, we laugh about now. But what I enjoyed the most is I enjoyed watching the kids just be kids and have fun. I loved watching every kid improve throughout the season, whether boys or girls. Every kid that we coached got better towards the end of the season. It was great seeing the worst kid on the team get a big hit or a big walk and make a big play in the field. I loved watching kids be kids. And there's all kind of stories. I'm going to tell a couple of stories to entertain your audience here. And Franklin, by the way, we had a travel team in softball that Mike and I coached, and we were playing the Belleville Bulldogs and the Canton Crush. Our team nickname was the Franklin Cell Phones. That shows you the seriousness that our girls. So the Franklin Cell Phone, we played the Belleville Crush. We were losing 18-1 in the second inning. I'm missing the Lions game. One game, my daughter was a great little pitcher, and it was the last inning, bottom of the last inning, base loaded. She walked to go bat. I called timeout. I go to talk to her, give her some advice. The stands are packed with all the parents and grandparents. After I talked to her, she paused and says, "Can I get a cell phone?" That put it all in perspective to me that, they're having fun. Sometimes the parents and grandparents take it too seriously, but lifelong memories and things that I'll never, ever forget. And these kids on the feed today, they're friends now for all these years. And I loved it. One last story I'll tell. Every year we would have a draft. We'd have all the kids get to a specific location, and we'd watch them trot, throw ground balls, watch them hit a ball, and then we'd have a draft. And after the first 5 or 6 rounds, we drafted based on skill and ability. The last couple rounds were all the lousy players, so we draft those players based on the physical appearance of their mother. They could look at mother, we're picking for our team. That was our strategy. First 5 or 6 rounds, on talent, a couple rounds, it's how attractive their mother was.
That explains how I was on your team all those years.
That's right. That's right.
Hotsy Joanne Wiseman.
Yeah, wonderful memories, and our kids talk about it now, so it's fantastic.
All right, so Austin, you were always known as one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
I don't know.
Speak to us about that.
Well, you could pitch for a total of 3 innings per game. So, I was always paired, my dad and Michael Seltzer were always coaching together. So Adam Cerno would always was the starter and pitched the first 3 innings, and I would pitch the final 3 innings. And it was just always enjoyable because, I don't know, I have a good arm and I'm accurate. So I would just fire it right in there, and apparently nobody else, they couldn't hit it. So I just kept I kept striking them out. So
you were brilliant.
Tastiest fastball in the village.
Yeah, right.
Right,
however, I do remember in Pony, I threw a fastball. Mike Babcock hit it. It still hasn't landed yet.
All right, Aaron, you are in show business big time. And can you talk about your project at all? Can you even mention it?
Well, I can say that there is, I'm working on something right now that is, has to do with a movie that I think we all loved growing up, and I think we all saw ourselves in playing Franklin baseball. And I think for right now, that's all I want to say. But if
But if I
all
said
things
the
come
name of
together,
that movie, would that be a problem if I said the name of that movie? I won't.
let's not say it.
Okay,
I think
all
we
right,
can
all right.
hint to it. We can
We
allude
could do
to it.
process of elimination.
All right.
But
No.
you don't have to answer. We could
The
just
point
throw out
is,
baseball.
there's going to be something very special that this group is really going to be excited about promoting, but that's for another day. And when we
Yes,
get
I
there,
hope so. I hope
all
so.
right.
It's definitely
Snack-wise-
it's a movie that we grew up quoting, but
Yes.
yeah. Well, can I just tell my brief? Let me just piggyback on the draft story my dad just told. Not having to do with Hot Mom's dad, but one of my memories actually is not on the field for Franklin baseball, but it is when your dad's coaching. You have the great privilege of taking a peek at the draft list before or after they come back from the night. And first of all, I can't believe that a draft was done for kids this age back then. I don't know if it's still being done, but I remember there was a kid that didn't go to our school, and I thought he was the greatest thing on earth, no better player in the world. And his name was Brendan Peters. And one day I remember my dad coming home from that draft. I feel like it was maybe on, I don't know, it was maybe the Indians, formerly known as the Indians. And I remember seeing his name on our list, and I don't think I've ever been more excited about anything in my life, even to this day, that we got Brendan Peters on our team. It just goes to show
Your
you.
wife and daughter are not going to want to hear that, but that's okay.
It just goes to show you the lore that these other players in different cities, and like you hear about them, and once you get to play on the same field as them, it's like, oh my God.
Right. All right, we're running out of time, so let's go to Zach Wiseman. What's on your mind? What's your story?
I kind of blacked out. I think the first few years I was picking daisies in the outfield. Hopefully left field, not right field. But I do think I progressed, and I appreciate that. So by the end of my, Franklin career, I was either second base or first base until they realized that Adam Cerno is a lefty and would play better first base. But what I remember most, I think, is the great merger. If you watch Survivor, halfway through the season, they merged the two tribes. And I started out on the Michael Cerno team, and over there was the Indians, the Bruce Kazander team, and of course Gary Wiseman was in the mix, and Bob Weiss, and these amazing coaches and characters of our life. But we merged and we became one, and I think that's sort of symbolic of the rest of our friendships and lives here.
Definitely. All right, Justin, got a story?
Well, look, I just want to say that it's just really special to be here with my players and coaches from Franklin baseball. It's some of the most formidable memories of my youth, and like Michael and Bruce alluded to, you learn life lessons, you learn camaraderie, and it just helps solidify your love for America's pastime. And I think the thing that makes Franklin baseball incredibly special, because there's a myriad of different baseball leagues all throughout the country, is just how the community rallies around the team and rallies around the players. All the fields are dead in the center of the village, and everyone's riding their bikes there and visiting the shops afterwards. And it just elevates what is already such an incredibly special experience, playing youth baseball. And it's just so incredible and so unique.
It was one of my favorite times in life as a young father, watching my kids befriend new friends and me having these relationships, as Bruce and Michael said. This was when we began to bond, and here we are years later, 40 years later. We're all great friends. We're all still in constant contact. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful to all of you, and so happy to be able to join you today. This really was very special.
One quick mention, Michael, is that Justin Seltzer's son, Sammy, and my son, Noah, are like total. It's like Ford versus Ferrari in soccer, and they're starting baseball in the spring. So I'm very excited about that.
Hopefully they're going to be teammates this next year.
Can I?
The franchise continues.
Yeah.
One final comment.
Yes, sir.
So as coaches, we had signs to bunt, to steal, to hit, whatever. And right now, Mike, Austin, and myself have one final sign. If we can get the whole screen on, we want to give you guys one final sign, okay?
See you later.
Oh, no.
Technical difficulty.
That was great. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And everybody in the audience, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. We'll be right back.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Take control at ready.gov/olderadults.
All right, well, what a show, what a show. I really love this. I love talking Franklin baseball with my great guests, the coaches, the kids who have grown up and become adults. And what a great show. I hope to be back with Franklin next week. You know, he was a little exhausted from all the touring we've done, so he needed to stay home. Now, they say that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So to all of you who are pictured here, you're seeing yourselves who have flattered me in so many ways by emulating me and adoring me the way my wife doesn't anymore, but the way Franklin does. I greatly appreciate all of you, even though I know a lot of it is hateful and jealous and spiteful, but all of you that are being pictured right now that are so-called friends of mine, you know, the air quotes, friends, thank you for being you, and thank God you're not me, or something like that. Anyway, good night, everybody. It was a great time. Again, we look forward to seeing you next week on The Franklin Show, right here, live from Franklin.